Today we are going to start with the next chapter, that is respiration in plants. Respiration in plants, that is all the living organisms, they breathe to live. We can survive without food for few days. Living organisms can survive without water for few hours, but no living organism can survive without the exchange of gases, that is without breathing. कुछ मिनट भी बिना सांस लिए जिंदा नहीं रह सकते. So why breathing is so essential to life? What happens when we breathe? Do all the living organisms they breathe, including plants and microorganisms? We will try to find out answers for these questions in this chapter. We know that all living organisms they need food, and this food it liberates energy to for our daily life activities. लेकिन ये एनर्जी कैसे प्रोड्यूस होती है फूड से? इस एनर्जी को हम कैसे यूटिलाइज करते हैं? क्या सभी तरह के फूड, ऑल द टाइप ऑफ फूड्स दे गिव सेम टाइप ऑफ एनर्जी, सेम अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी? डू प्लांट्स दे ईट फूड? डू माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स दे नीड एनर्जी? डू माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स दे ईट फूड? तो सारे ये जो क्वेश्चंस हम कह रहे हैं, they seem to be very disconnected, but the process of breathing is very much common and connected to the process of release of energy from the food that we eat. Energy which is required for all the life processes that comes from oxidation of food. सिर्फ फूड हमें तब तक एनर्जी नहीं प्रोवाइड कर सकता जब तक कि उसका ऑक्सीडेशन ना हो. फॉर कंटिन्यूस सप्लाई ऑफ एनर्जी, कंटिन्यूस ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ फूड इज रिक्वायर्ड. When food gets oxidized, it provides energy along with carbon dioxide and water. We know that all the food which we eat, it comes from green plants directly or indirectly. Green plants, they are able to prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis, in which they are able to convert solar energy into the chemical energy like glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch, etc. We should remember that the non-green cells in the plants, they cannot carry out photosynthesis, and they also need food, and that oxidation of that food for the production of energy. तो जितने भी नॉन ग्रीन प्लांट्स हैं, नॉन ग्रीन पार्ट्स हैं प्लांट्स के, उन तक भी जो फूड है दैट इज ट्रांसलोकेटेड. एनिमल्स, वेदर दे आर herbivores, carnivores, whether they are saprophytic, they have saprophytic nutrition. All these they need food, and this food is oxidized, and ये जितना भी फूड सभी तरह के ऑर्गेनिज्म हर्बीवोर्स, कार्निवोर्स या सैप्रोफाइट्स यूज़ करते हैं, जो भी फूड दैट कम्स फ्रॉम द प्लांट्स, एंड देन दिस फूड इज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड टू प्रोड्यूस एनर्जी, एंड दिस process is called cellular respiration, that is oxidation of food to liberate carbon dioxide, water and energy This process is called cellular respiration. Now the process of photosynthesis, it takes place in chloroplast, but the breakdown of food, that is oxidation of food, it takes place inside another cell organelle called mitochondria. Now the breakdown of food which is a carbohydrate, that is food with कार्बन कार्बन बैकबोन, जिसमें कि कई सारे कार्बन जो हैं दे आर joined to form a long chain. This complex carbon compounds, they break down and within the mitochondria upon oxidation, and this leads to the release of a large amount of energy, and this process is called respiration. And the compounds which are oxidized to release energy, these are called respiratory substrates. The food which is oxidized is known as respiratory substrates. The major respiratory substrates, they are carbohydrates, but sometimes the proteins, fats and organic acids, they can also be used as respiratory substrates in some plants under certain conditions. Now, this energy released in the process of respiration, it is not released in a single step, but there is stepwise release of energy by oxidation of this food, and this energy released is stored in the form of ATP. ATP, they are the actual energy currency of the cell, and this energy, the light energy, is trapped in the ATP, and later on जब हमें एनर्जी की ज़रूरत होती है, this stored energy, it can be used in various energy requiring processes.